Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Review Ubisoft's E3 conference. Well, no, I'm just going to talk about what they did, and then I'm going to probably talk good stuff and bad stuff, but overall, I was very impressed, but some people maybe with the final announcement they made in the end. But it was kind of like a typical Ubisoft conference, and yeah, except they were missing I forgot her name, but she usually shows up and she usually causes a stir on the internet. She wasn't involved in this conference this year. If her name comes to me, I'll pop it in, but I can't remember it as of right now. So what did the conference start with? Well, this conference started with Rabbids, the little dudes from Rayman. I guess you can call them an Ubisoft mascot, as they are hitting a yellow question mark box, just like in Mario. So then they're hitting it and coins come out, and then eventually a mushroom comes out and they grow huge. And I'm sitting there going, is this a crossover? And we indeed do get the crossover. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Wars. And then they bring out Miyamoto and things, and they have these little cannon toy things they're carrying around. I seen one comment where they were like XCOM and Mario crossover. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, because it's a tactical RPG. Well, I guess it's just a tactical game, where you reuse Mario and various other party members, and you get behind cover, or you use tactics to get around the enemy and kill them. It's all it's all pretty trivial. I guess the people who wanted Mario RPG, I guess this is kind of the answer to that, in a way. And of course, it's Switch exclusive because Mario, and you can't cross-platform with Mario. Next game that shows up for Ubisoft was The Crew 2. Yes, they made a sequel to that because The Crew 1 did so amazingly. I have The Crew 1. The Crew 1 was boring as crap as you drive everywhere to finish missions and that take forever to get there. I mean, there is fast travel, but that kind of ruins the whole thing. But it's like, it was so what do they do different? Well, it looks like they upgraded it, so then you're some kind of weird sport superstar. In the original one, I think you were just a regular street racer. In this one, you upgraded to super racer status, who you're good at dirt bikes, you're good with any kind of motorsports. And like the guy said, that America's all about bigger and edgier. Well, that's what this one's about. Ubisoft likes doing the whole thing where they take it to the next extreme. I guess that's what this is. And then the funniest part was when the guy was like, "Say hello to the crew too." And no one clapped for a second, and then finally somebody was like, "Oh, clap!" And they clapped for him. He's like, "Thank you." He needed that bad. I mean, for what the Crew 2 looks like, no, there wasn't any gameplay. It was just all CGI trailer. You can fly planes, you can drive boats, you can drive cars, you can drive motorbikes. Your choice. Well, I think dirt bikes. I don't know if motorcycles are on there. I think dirt bikes are the bike thing. And then there's a beta coming up soon you can sign up for if you want to do that, if you're so inclined. I mean, if you're not gonna get Forza, you might as well just get that. I guess if you like the Crew. If you do, it's fine. Next was South Park Fractured Butthole, thank God. And then we get a release date, October 17th, and then it's your typical South Park thing, the comedy and everything. That was the one thing that caught my attention through this entire conference. It was the two instances where South Park showed up. This was the first instance. I'll get to the second one in a minute. So after Fractured Butthole, there was Ubisoft then goes into a little snippet of their VR Transference. Enter the Home of the Mind. There was no gameplay, nothing, just a whole trailer of people. There's a bunch of guys sitting in the chair with the VR things on their face with a heart rate monitor on their face beeping really fast, and all sorts of weird things. So I think it's going to be like a horror game, as your mind is. They said they wanted, at least in the trailer, they were they want you to blur the lines between reality and VR, where it's like, come on, now we're still not that far into VR, and I doubt very seriously. But I just have a very low, I guess I can call it a lukewarm feeling towards VR, because I still don't really understand it, and I think motion sickness is kind of the thing with that. Next was a pirate game. So it seems the whole Assassin's Creed Black Flag pirate gameplay finally gets their own game, and people were kind of waiting for like when were they going to actually turn this into the full game, because people were more stoked about the pirate battles and stuff, which I can see. And this game is called Skull and Bones. I believe it's just going to be it's just going to be a multiplayer battle thing with ships, and they called it about loot and stuff. I got really bad, severe flashbacks to For Honor, because the guy then brings up every season you're trying to become the Pirate King, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, For Honor had seasons too, but they completely fucked those off because nobody gave a shit about the war map anymore because their rewards were shitty for winning. It wasn't worth it. They explained in Skull and Bones that there is a squad 5v5 fight that goes on, and then they had some very scripted gameplay as they showed some ship battles, and they showed and if you played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you know how the ship battles are usually good and all these things, and if you take down the ship, you can board it. All the mechanics are still there, so they just kind of took that, and then they're going to make that. I doubt there's going to be a story mode. I think they're just going to go full-on multiplayer with it, and that's just going to be the entirety. Some people are already comparing it to For Honor, which is understandable, where they just dump the game, leave it, and that's their moneymaker for that quarter that they drop it. Oh, yeah. And there was another specific thing the guy on stage mentioned. He goes, if you react, the world reacts. And then the trailer comes on again, and there's 3 ships that are around, and 2 get taken down mysteriously by like some giant sea monster, or at least you think is a sea monster. So there are hidden things within the deep, or something. And that's going to be released fall of 2018. So if you want pirate combat, that is it. If the other pirate game didn't tickle your insides. After that came Just Dance. Yeah, once that happened, I kind of went to the bathroom. I was like, all right, Pete Rick. As they went on, they danced, and then when I came back, they brought out the chick named BB, and then she was like singing for a bit, and it's like, okay, that was Just Dance. Moving on. I didn't, Just Dance is Just Dance at this point. It's there for the people who still play it. After that, to bring people back in, it was South Park Phone Destroyer, and I knew this was going to be a South Park game because they had an announcer voiceover going on, and it had Trey or Matt's voice as the voiceover, because you can tell, because the usual South Park announcer going on. And then it's like Cartman is like, okay, we're gonna play Cowboys and Indians. Well, it's a little more than Cowboys and Indians fighting. So if you like Fractured Butthole, or if you're gonna like it, if you like Stick of Truth, I think this is pretty much the same thing in a mobile capacity. I don't know if it's gonna be a free game. I don't know if it's gonna be a buy game, but I know it's gonna be a mobile game because it's Phone Destroyer, and they made sure of that. Let's see. After that was okay, yeah, that's right. Starlink Battle for Atlas. I thought it was going to be a Switch exclusive game until the end of the trailer, where they showed the Xbox One logo, the PS4 logo, and the Switch logo. So it's going to be a cross-platform game where you assemble your ship in real life, and then you can place it on like a little stand. At least for the Switch, it had the stand built in. So then it's like right in your hands, and then your ship changes in-game as you add parts to it in real life. So it's another Disney Infinity kind of thing, or all the other action figures turned into actual video game stuff that's been coming out, like Skylanders and things. Except this time it's with spaceships. This is what it is. Coming up next was Steep. Steep I completely forgot existed, and I guess people play it. There's going to be an expansion coming for the Winter Olympics, I guess, on December 5th. That's pretty much the bearing of my thought. I thought it was a snowboard-only game, but it's a little more than snowboarding. But that's about it. After Steep came Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5, well, people already knew it was coming. It's just this was a little trailer as you're fighting cultists. And the thing, and then they showed a little bit of gameplay where the guy ordered his teammate to go up in the water tower to snipe, and then he went down. Before the gunplay went off, they cut to the trailer, and then they just used the trailer footage. They didn't use actual gameplay from that. So they went from the gameplay straight into the trailer. He was about to shoot the guys too. And I feel like Far Cry is suffering from the yearly release that the Assassin's Creed suffered from, or the Call of Duty syndrome, where every year you have to make something come out. So then this is it. I think they may get to 6 and then they may stop. I guess we're gonna find out. And then the last game they showcased kind of threw me because I didn't know what it was. Because there was just a bunch of cursing, and there was like this monkey who was cursing, and there was this fat pig person who was cursing, and then there's like anthropomorphic creatures with humans, and then like all sci-fi stuff. I was really lost. I didn't know what it was. And come to find out, it's Beyond Good and Evil 2. I didn't play the first one, but supposedly it's really good. People love it, and it's kind of got a cult following. They finally get their sequel. The people on stage said it's a sequel that is a prequel because it is set before the main character of the first game was born. So that's what they're doing with that. So you get your sequel, but it's a prequel. So I guess it's to not ruin anything or help it so new players can just kind of jump in and experience stuff without having to like refer to the first game that is 15 years old at this point. And they close it out with that. I guess good versus Beyond Good and Evil could be called a bombshell. I guess it wasn't for me. I mean, I understand a couple of the things. The only thing that made me pay attention was the 2 South Park games that appeared. Skull and Bones, not so much. I didn't really like the ship battling and Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but that's just other people enjoyed it immensely, so they can kind of just use that. And they'll probably go pick that game up, and they'll be like me with For Honor, and they'll dislike their decision after that game suddenly falls off the cliff or something. And then Beyond Good and Evil, like I said, it's probably the bombshell thing, but people have been predicting this every single year, so I don't know how much weight it really held until it's like finally, oh my god, it's here. So there's that. At least it was, I guess I can call Ubisoft's E3 better than, it was better than Bethesda's, because Bethesda was like, we're Bethesda, and then they kind of walked off. So this had that. And, well, it's typical Ubisoft fashion, and I don't know, I give it it'll be a C, because I wasn't the thing that saved for me was South Park, but there was all these trailers and other things that Ubisoft does, but that's what they do. And I guess I'll be back with another one of these for the Sony unveiling, or at least when Sony decides to show what they want to show. Hopefully good stuff. I'm still kind of hoping for Anthem, actually, even though Anthem isn't coming out for another year. So we'll see you next video. Hey everybody, I'd just like to add in at this point that I forgot to add in Assassin's Creed Origins was also featured very prominently in the Ubisoft conference. I pretty much glossed over that during all of my note-taking because I guess I just gloss over Assassin's Creed now. But they didn't show much else compared to what they showed on the Xbox presentation stage. They just pretty much showed just straight trailers and no gameplay. It was just that. And that was all they had. So that's why, if you're wondering why I waited so long to put the Assassin's Creed thing, I put it at the end. Because I actually forgot that it happened. So, yeah, I apologize for that.